Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow, that intro. Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Millwall podcast. This is your Sunday night live after Sunderland. So then, we're in the Championship for another season. Mathematically and quite happily, we are there for another season. And I suppose realistically, before I introduce you boys, we just do this. There we go then. So then, a poor game to be fair on Saturday, but we did what needed to be done, and yeah, we're up. We are safe. Thank God. Going into the game today was a bit of a with Sheffield Wednesday was like, oh fuck, but their Blackburn keepers seem to be giving it away like I don't know what. So yeah. So without further ado, we're going to welcome my glamorous co-host, the one and only Stephen.
Hello, mate. It's been a while since both of us have been on alive, isn't it? Obviously, with your exploits in Turkey and whatnot. So
that's it, mate. No teeth, no hair. So yeah, we're all done. We're all done there. And we are joined by the Red Bull King himself, the one and only Jay. How you doing, fella? You all right?
Good evening, chaps. Twice in a week, yeah. Yeah, it is, mate. Yeah, so yeah, they will, mate. We're gonna have to balance this out a bit. No, good to be here. Glad to be safe. Glad we can get that out of the way now. No more rants, and we can start looking forward to what we need for a Championship squad next season, not a League One squad. So yeah, exciting, but some concerns we want to raise during the show.
At some point, yeah. I mean, flicking through the comments, as I said to you, we will highlight comments and we will come back to them, but I'm not going to be flicking all of them because you don't see them. When you watch back and all of that. So Mark Murphy, good evening. Carl Jacobs, Lionshaw, etc. Good evening, Mike. Paul, Frenchie, bonjour. And most of you in there. We are safe now. I can go to Plymouth match and relax now. I don't know about relax because it would just be sod's law that we'll probably get spanked about 5-0. But we're going to that as we move on. So Stephen, then, your thoughts on yesterday's game?
Well, you said that it wasn't particularly good, and let's be honest, it wasn't.
Don't make me bring up the WhatsApp chats for the
the
beginning half yesterday, mate.
it wasn't, but I also don't think. I know this sounds a bit odd, but I don't think we were that bad. I just think it was just. Harris had a game plan. It was to stop them creating chances. I read somewhere that I'm going to come back to this player later, someone I want to talk about a little bit more in detail. I read that Matty Sarkic didn't actually have a save to make, but I'm not so sure if that. I don't know if that's actually true because I'm thinking about a couple of chances that they had and whether or not it went wide or was going wide. I don't know what how they calculate that, but. We limited them to not a lot. I know their supporters are not happy with their style of play and the management situation. Scored a good goal. The build-up was good from Longman. Okay, a little bit of luck from Dan Ballard, but the players have done what they needed to do. And we all thought it might go down to the last couple of games. We all thought it was going to be nervy, and the fact that they've won 3 out of the last 3, they've taken care of business. You can't really ask for much more than that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Jay, your thoughts?
Yeah, similar to Stephen. Look, it wasn't pretty on the eye. I thought there were some players that have been really good recently that wasn't very good. Maybe that's tiredness coming in, or some players that played were if buts or maybes for the game anyway. But I thought off the ball, as we have been seen under a Harris team, off the ball we was resolute. The positioning, the discipline was still top draw. Just lacked that bit of quality on the ball. I thought the passing was poor, the positioning was poor. I thought we was running around a lot. But that was from both teams. I thought both teams were very poor. And we just happened to get on the end of a really good passage of play of the tackle from Lenny, and then Saville bursting through the middle, which he doesn't normally do. Feeds Longman, who puts a fantastic ball in the box. And when you put a cross like that into the box, any touch is going to send it into the back of the net, and it come off of a former Millwall loanee that's kept us up, ironically. So bit of sweat and worrisome watching the Rotherham game back. But as you said, Mick, look, we're mathematically safe now, and it's that part of it's over, and we can look forward to next season.
I fully agree with that. I mean, there are some questions that we come to in a minute, but I mean, any standout negativity or positivity you want to speak about from yesterday, Stephen?
Japhet Tanganga. I think again, just showing really. I was asked you, Mickey. You asked me to write a little bit for the Roker Sunderland guys, and they asked one of the questions revolved around Obafemi and Tanganga. And I use the phrase that he's a Rolls Royce of a defender in this division. And yesterday, I think he just showed the same thing. He reads the game really well. His positioning is excellent. He's quick. Okay, I think let's face it, when I'm not saying he's the best defender in the world, and I think there's a couple of scenarios where balls come into the box that he might get out jumped or maybe a little bit out muscled, because the physicality in the Premier League is different perhaps to what it is in the Championship. But overall, he's absolutely superb. I'd love to get him back. I don't think we will. I think he'll end up either the top end of the Championship or probably back into the Premier League. But for me, just again, and I know we talk a lot about Oldo and Edwards and Rao. All these names have come up. Whoever it was that made that call to Spurs to ask if they could bring him to the club, that was an excellent piece of business.
What, asking him to come back to the club?
No, asking Tanganga to when they went to Spurs and said, "Is he available? Can we do a deal with whoever it was that initiated that transfer?" That was an excellent piece of business. And had we have had him, and this is probably a bit more of a stupid comment, but had we have had him from the start of the season, if he'd have been there the whole season playing at this level, I think he would have walked away with Player of the Season. The fact he's only been there for half a season has meant that obviously there's other names in the running, but he's been superb.
Do you know what I find amazing with him is that if you watch, and I'll try and find it in a minute and put the link in the chat for people to watch. There was a program on Sky called Transfer Day a couple of years ago, and his agent really did think that he was better than what he was, because he had a value of a couple of years ago of £23 million. And he was going, they were talking about him going to Milan and, AC Milan and teams out there. And, within a year, he's pretty much playing for Millwall, a little club as such, compared to what he was looking at. And he's literally found his form. Is he going to use that form to hopefully excel himself back in to the top level of football? I don't know. That's down to him. Or has he found his place in Championship football? Again, I think that's something where we need to do. But if you watch it, I mean, it was an interesting. I mean, he's not in there for. You'll have to flick through it a bit, but he's, there's a few little bits in there where he's there, and you hear him talking about where he come from, and his loyalty to Spurs. He's been there since he was 8 years old, so he's got a lot of loyalty for him and all that lot. But yeah, I think something didn't work out for him, and Spurs didn't see it in him and shipped him out. But again, we have a habit of this with Spurs. We did it with Kane.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well with him. He's English, he's young, so that's where the transfer value. If you're young and English, everyone just pays through the roof, which is ridiculous. But he's, as I say, whatever's happened in the past, when we saw him at QPR away, when he come on for 5 minutes, he was clearly unfit, played no football. It was obvious that he needed a little bit of time, but just absolutely superb yesterday. And also another positive, which Jay, I'm sure we've spoken about this over the last few weeks. We keep doing it. Ryan Leonard, yet again, another top Championship winger that up against him that really did nothing, and was lucky to still be on the pitch, in my opinion.
Thanks for the follow, Len Dog. I'm not going to mention what one of our socials you follow, but thank you very much for the follow. And I did check it out before someone goes, "Oh, is it really him?" I did check it out, and it is really him, but it is under a pseudonym as such. But I have found out that it is him. And thanks for the follow, mate. Much appreciated. And if you're watching tonight, thanks a lot, and see you next season, hopefully.
Yeah, like what you just said, Stephen. Look, going on off Tanganga, there's a clip when Watmore scores and they're all celebrating with Watmore, and Tanganga comes over and he's saying, "Right, we're not done. You need to come on, let's keep our heads." So you can see, there's a leader in him. You can see how much it meant to him. He's clearly engraved what we're trying to do, what Harris is trying to do. He's clearly bought in, and he's a big reason we're staying up. I don't expect him to be here next season, so I'd rather discuss the players that are. Thank him for his hard work. Really
Jay's been reading the comments.
He's helped. I've not. I don't even have them open. Actually, I don't even have them open.
Someone made a comment a minute ago and went, "Fuck him. He's not going to be here next season." Talking about
but no, whoever said that is right. We do want to talk about the players that are going to be here because there's a lot of turmoil. I thought, as you just said, Stephen, Ryan Leonard. I mean, I'd love to see a list of wingers that he's pocketed this season, because he's just been, and it hasn't been like, he's played really well. He's absolutely pocketed these guys. And I thought Danny McNamara as well, on the opposite side of him, I thought was excellent again yesterday. After the first 5 minutes, where Tanganga there was a moment Tanganga said to him, "Come on, you need to be there," kind of coached him a bit. And after the first 5 minutes, he was flawless. I thought Danny was brilliant. So yeah, look, there is some positives. The only negative was that I would say it weren't Watmore's goal, which was a little bit annoying. You'd like that to go to a Millwall player, but look,
it has been given to him though.
Yeah,
it has. It definitely weren't his. It definitely weren't his. I think it's because he's forced the issue more to it, and if he does touch it, it goes in. Then it's 50-50. But splitting hairs, it's come off Ballard. But look, really good. I'm glad Harris done what he did on the pitch. I don't know if people have heard his interview back. He said he felt like he needed to do that on the pitch to show the fans, like, look, we've been in this together. It takes everybody, not just the staff, the players, but it takes the fans as well. And we did. We all had to bind together to remain in the Championship. We have done. Yeah. Credit to Harris. He's done what he was meant to do, what he was brought here to do. And the players, albeit for how bad they've been this season, they stepped up. But next season's got to be better.
No, that's it. I'm going to go to a question and throw you both under the bus. Well, not both.
Let me open these questions up because I've not.
But to a degree, right? And Tony, our fella in New Zealand, who's potentially on his way to work on Monday morning, is this one. Longman's still young enough to learn and get better. Some of you boys on here have absolutely ruined this lad this season. But towards the end of the season, the lad's come good, isn't he?
I'll come in straight off the back of that. Look, I've been one of them. I'm not sure Stephen's been so critical. I'll defend Stephen there. I'm not sure he has been as bad as
Steve's
me.
Danny Mac
yes,
at the beginning of the season, so don't worry.
Yeah, and we'll come on to that. But no, he's not been. Look, I was one of them, and there's a couple of others I won't name drop that have been, and rightly so, in my opinion, a bit. But the last month, I mean, Ryan Longman's been fantastic. He's probably been one of the better players over the last month. Most of our attacks come from him. He's very lively. He puts himself about. And I would love to have him back. And I wouldn't have said that a couple of months ago. I really wouldn't. But he is young, and he's not going to stay at Hull with the money they've spent and their ambition. I'd love to bring him back. He can play anywhere across the front line, can play at fullback, which is what he come into to start with under Rowett, his first appearance at Birmingham away. And he can play up front, albeit not very good. But there's a player there. and I'd really like to have him back. And do you know what? Hold my hands up, I'll eat crow. Weren't a fan, but yeah, no, he's changed my opinion. That's what it's all about. This is a reactive show. This is a Sunday night reacting after Sunderland, as we react after every game. And, you know, based on what we've seen so far, yeah, I'll eat crow. I'll take it back. I'll have him.
So on the Longman as well, Stephen, I know you're going to come in and say, but I mean, there's a couple of questions relating to Longman, which we can do while we're here. How much do you think Hull would want for Longman? 400 grand, 500 grand?
I don't think it would be. Yeah, I don't think it would be a huge fee. They clearly are looking to ship him out. That's why they were happy to get rid of him on loan, let him go and play somewhere else, and hopefully find a new home. I must have look. The last 5 games, Ryan Longman has probably been, if not our best player over the 5 games. He's been superb.
And is that because he's been playing out of his best position?
That I saw that comment, and I was going to say he's playing him in a winger in that out wide position. Yes, we know he's going to track back and defend. That's a demand of Harris. That's why he obviously plays him. But he's playing in a position maybe that he feels comfortable. Before I carry on that comment there, come on everyone. There's 152 of us in here and only 19 likes. Smash the like button. There's a few more than that watching. But if you can smash the like button, that'd be very much appreciated.
That's because a lot of them are on Twitter, Stephen.
Right. Sorry, back to Longman. Let's be honest, and we do have to, you know, there's 2 sides to this. For the majority of the season, a lot of the players were very, very poor. We know that. We've spoke about it enough, and he was one of them. And the end product was always something that was questionable. The last 5 games we've seen end product. There's been goals, there's been assists, and if you can get that out of him and you get that regular, then yes, I wouldn't be against bringing him back at all, especially for a low fee, and also considering that the rebuild job in the summer is going to be a big thing. If you can bring someone in that you know and you trust, great. But I do think that we need to see again from him and other players consistency. And I know at Millwall that's, you know, we don't always get that, and that's why perhaps players don't always stay. But I don't think he's the finished article. But from where he was to where he is now and under Harris, there's definitely a signing in there.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Brown says if Norton Cuffey leaves, Longman is a perfect replacement, and Tunbridge MFC says Longman is a Harris type player.
I think we've seen that, haven't we? I think he's been probably one of Harris's favourite type of players. You know, Harris made a point of saying, you know, after the weldy at Leicester, that in the dressing room, he said to him, look, what do you do best? Look, you've got such raw ability, just harness it. And he did that in the second half. You know, he took a couple of players on, and he's got that in his locker. He did it at Rotherham. You know, he's got them type of hits in his locker. So yeah, for a small fee, he is a Harris type player. I totally agree that, and he's clearly thriving under Harris. He's playing better under Harris than he did Edwards or Rowett. So, yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it, as Harris is going to be here next season.
Listen, and before I get jumped on and go, you know, what the fuck? Listen, Harris was the only man really to go to war. We've said it plenty of times before, and I said it, you know, when the choice was made. As a business sense, for that particular moment to keep us up, Harris was the right person. As in going forward as a club, is it the right person? I don't know. And I am still undecided on that, because, you know, having Harris for another year is a risk in itself, especially if the board don't back him with a good financial purse for the season, you know, for the next season, for the transfer windows. But I mean, it's a question for you boys, because it's something we were talking about before. But I mean, Harris has done what he has. Do you now think that he's deserved next season, Stephen?
I do. I'll be honest. I was with you on the sense when he was first brought in, and it was an 18-month contract. It was kind of like, right, okay, well, you know, short term, great, but what's going to happen if, you know, if we were going to be a League One club, you could kind of understand why he would be there to oversee it. But if he was going to keep us up, you'd kind of have a look at it and go, is that the right call? I think Harris he's earned the right to have a go at the Championship next year. The comment he made in his interview after the game on Millwall TV, which we'll come back to. The fact that they posted the whole interview out on Twitter was quite interesting.
It's the last game of the season, isn't it? And I don't know if it was going to be in next
they've
season.
stayed up. Yeah, they've stayed up, and it's big news. I get that. Harris said that he will be here next season, and his job is primarily to make sure the club is in a better position than what it was when he took over. Now, that's not promising anything other than we're not going to be fighting at the bottom of the league next season. Mickey, we spoke just before we come on. I think the idea is next season, and people might not want to hear it, and it might be disappointing, but next season is going to be a mid-table, start the rebuild properly season for someone to come in after Neil Harris next summer to take the club forward. That's what the scenario is. That's what Harris is looking to do. That's what the board are looking to do. We could be second after 10 games. We could be second from bottom after 10 games, and then the plan might slightly change. But I think Harris deserves his chance, and he will look to put us on a path for whoever is the person. No, I know he has, but what
as Larry Davenport said there. Sorry, it's all right. It's just cool. There's a comment there where Larry's coming and said, he's got a contract in the story. No, he has, but I mean, Gary had a contract. And so did Edwards. And fans turning and fans being heard pretty much cost those two people their jobs, obviously, and losing. But, and that's the frustration part for me is that these players are the same players who were here all the way through the season, give or take a couple of loanees who've come in, and they've not made the rest of these players changed. To me, the players what do stay, and any players who the board or the recruitment department are looking at, need to hit the ground running next season and fucking go for it. Purely,
that's not going to happen.
No,
that's not going to happen. And it's disappointing. It might be disappointing, but I think the club have realised that the decision to bring Joe Edwards in was so poor for a number of reasons that Harris has been told, right, get us in a position where in, what would it be, the 25-26 season, whoever takes us over there, they have the platform to really try and attack the top six. That's what I think.
I agree with, I think Daily Millwall. I think the club need to go for it. There's, you've got obviously what happened with JB last season, everything else, all the players doing what they done, come out, giving this, giving that, blah, blah, blah. They need to prove their worth because this season they behaved poorly. They were so close, 3 games from potentially tarnishing JB's name. I mean, they got it within 3 and okay, they're safe now, but realistically within 3 in certain games throughout this season was disgraceful to his honour, really. To call them professional players playing for the badge were disgraceful. And good that Harris come in with the fear and level of fear what he has. And, he is a very strict manager, coach, whatever you want to call him. And he would have fired or would have still up people's asses who fucked about. I don't think you would have ever got that from Edwards. I think he's been brought up the new footballing way of, it's really a shame, Stephen, that you didn't do that well today. But don't worry, we're going to look at the down points and we're going to make it better for you. So you're going to perform better next week. Harris would just say, Stephen, you've been fucking played like a complete and utter cunt. What are you doing? Do more on the training and work harder and make sure you don't do that again. And that's the difference between, I think, them two completely. And Rowett, well, we know that Rowett just wasn't a man manager. We just know that speaking to players and stuff, no one really spoke to him.
That doesn't make you challenge for the top 6, though. That means that you get grafters and you get a team that's going to work hard. As I say, my opinion, my understanding and listening to what Harris said, he's going to be here in charge next season. He's not going to walk away, which I thought that may have been the plan. I was wrong based on what Harris has said. So he's staying. He's earned the right to stay, and his job is to oversee the beginning phase of the rebuild that perhaps we should have done last summer it perhaps should have been a reset after Gary Rowett, but we didn't do that. So they're now going to do it this way and have a Millwall man in charge to oversee it. That's just how I see it personally.
So on your point there about a Millwall man in charge to oversee it, doesn't it make more sense long term to make Harris director of football?
100%. I don't think Harris will leave. Yeah. To be honest with you, the ideal for me is give Harris the season, providing it goes okay, and we're not in any danger or whatever. And then come the end of next season, when his contract ends, say, right, thank you very much, Neil. You move up to a director of football, bring in a manager that can work with him. That's the scenario. Harris wouldn't have agreed to that this time round. He would want that opportunity, and rightly so. He's earned that, again, in my opinion. But moving forward, I think that would be the long-term solution, and I'd like to see that. Whether they do it or not is another matter.
Yeah, no, I see it. I mean, listen, there's someone in the comment who said, when you interviewed Rob, that Rob said, we are who we are, and we're not. Listen, I don't think we're ever going to potentially be a Premiership club, because I don't think the board will ever make that investment into us to make us compete with the top half of that table, as in pound for pound. But I think that we could get there by, determination and fucking lady luck, and get to the playoffs and then fucking shithouser it. But I don't know, you know the way it is, mate. So yeah, I mean, Jay, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, Harris has he done what he was asked to do. He made a promise to JB, he fulfilled that promise, and then he backed it up with what he was asked to do. He's at every target that was proposed to him when he come in his short span. He said it himself. The medium term, the short term was to stay up. The medium term is to build a team that can be progressive and compete in the Championship next year. And then the longer term is to leave the club in a better position than what it is when he took over, which in my opinion is not very difficult, because there's a lot of things that are easily changed. I agree with the fact that he's the right man right now, because we do need to bring in players that will work hard for the shirt, understand the football club. They need a lesson before they come in. They need homework, these players. Before you come here, before we make a final decision, you need to know what this is about. And if this isn't a bit of you, then we don't want you. I think Harris is the right person to build that squad. I don't know if he's the right person to carry out the duty long term. I think going upstairs and then bringing someone in to coach a Harris-built team would be the perfect scenario for me. Here's the ammunition. You've got the gun. Your job to fire it and hit your targets. I think that would be good. Some progressive modern ideas with a Harris-type player, for me, would be a recipe for success. But I don't think mid-table is... If we finish mid-table next season, that will be an amazing season. With the finances we have, the players that we're going to lose, and the issues that we have upstairs and just all around the club in general, I honestly think we will be just maybe outside of relegation fight next year. I really do, because I think there's a lot more than just getting a couple of Harris-type players in to save and to progress from what we have this season. I really do. But no, I agree more to what Stephen said. He deserves it. He definitely deserves it. Give him it. If it starts going sour, though, after he's had a transfer window, someone posed this to me. I'm going to call him out, Dan, Big Dan Riggs, Little Dan Riggs, I spoke to him earlier, and he said, look, if this goes sour after the transfer window, say the summer transfer window, and you get to November, you got the January transfer window coming up, and you're fighting relegation, do you bite the bullet? Do you say to Harris, is it not working? What do you do? I don't think the club will sack him. I really don't. I think it'll be a case of he walks away again. But are we going to push ourselves into a corner again? Because I honestly think relegation battle is on the cards next year. People might shoot me down for that, but
no, look, I don't see, really, to be fair, I don't see that you're completely wrong there. Jimmy this season, I think it's rumoured that he's put in £17 million into the club. We obviously took on Brian We didn't have a fee for him, but
get rid.
Massive wages. Tandanga and obviously Obafemi, big money and wages to be done for him. Obviously, we've paid off 2 managers. We've obviously got another one. And the question where someone said, "Am I got someone coming on for the FFP?" Yeah, I'm in the process of organising them. So yeah, it will be coming over hopefully next week or 2. So yeah, I'm in the process of organising that. I don't know. I would just listen. I'd love the Premiership for 1 year, just to fucking terrify the life out of the Premiership. Literally, just do a Luton. Do you know what I mean? Upset a few teams, nick a couple of wins, and then potentially come back down. But just to have it. But I just honestly don't know if if you think realistically and say, right, realistically, we probably need £20 million invested into the team to give us a fighting chance. And I just don't think we have the money, and I don't think the board would be able to do it. I don't think the board would do it, and I don't think we have the money to do it. So rather, that was quite offending. As I was going, well, I don't think the board could do it. I looked up onto the YouTube analytics, and all I've got is Jay going like this. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? So, yeah, no, that threw me out of it there.
No, I was doing that when you mentioned Joe Bryan as he get him out.
Yeah, I personally, I think you're probably right. I think it'll be a mid-finish next season, mid-finish, probably between, I don't know, maybe 16 and 20, maybe.
The thing is, and I know it's different, and I get that different scenarios, but look at this season, the way that Harris is the projected. I know, and you can't always go on projected, but he's got 20 points from 11 games. No, is it 11? Yeah, it's 11 games, isn't it? 20 points from 11 games, right? And I know it doesn't always work like this, but if you sustain that over a period of 46 games, you end up with over 80 points. Now, we all know that's not how football works. You can't win anything on projected and stuff like that. But if we can continue this path, I'm not under no illusions. I don't think we'll be anywhere near the top 6. It's not going to happen. It's just not. I just think the plan is for stability for a season and then go for the top 6 with a new manager. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the transfer budget is. We don't know what players might even be sold to fund potential transfers, or what's going to happen, or who's going to stay. I think we all know that loan players, obviously, they'll all go back. The Hutchinson and Bart are probably going to now be shown the door. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of others maybe look for moves that, Harris is clearly not interested in, Wes Harding and people like that. So, they may go on, but we just don't know what's going to happen. But based on what we've seen on the pitch, I think Harris has a good chance of at least giving us some stability next year.
I think what we need is 2 goalkeepers, 1 striker, and 8 players who are masters at shithousery.
Can I just jump in there on that? I said it earlier. I'm going to talk about the goalkeeper, and I'm going to get some pelters for this, I'm sure. I think we, as supporters, give Mati Sarkic a bit of a hard time, personally. Overall, he's had some shockers. He has had some shockers, but he's also made some really good saves in games. And I pulled up a stat that I'd seen earlier, and I've had a look into it. He's played 30 games in the Championship for us this season and conceded 34 goals. So it's over a goal a game. Now, it doesn't look good when you look at that, and it certainly doesn't look good when you take into consideration that in 10 of those games he's kept a clean sheet. So he's conceded 34 goals in 20 games. Not all his fault, but for a goalkeeper, he's 26 years old. He's never settled at a club apart from Wolves, where they didn't want him. They loaned him out here, there, and everywhere. For a goalkeeper, goalkeepers hit their prime when they get to their sort of late 20s, early 30s. He's still learning, and I don't necessarily think that we need another goalkeeper. I really do think we've got to stick with him, and I think there's a match-winning goalkeeper in there. It's been tough this year, but I personally think that we've been a little bit harsh on him overall.
That is true. He's taking the piss.
Sarkic serviceable keeper, not a great tool. Listen, I do like Sarkic, and he has done some good stuff and he's done some bad stuff. I'm not ready to crown him the goalkeeper of the next decade for Millwall. I'm not there yet. I think the jury's out for me. I do think we need another goalkeeper because I don't know if Truman's going to be that guy. We do need some serious competition for Sarkic because without competition, you get complacent and you think, well, the job's mine anyway. You know, what's it matter? I think an element of that was with Sarkic a little bit, especially towards the end because Bart was never going to play. He's played well under Harris. The defence, more to the point, have done well for Sarkic. Now, that they do play in tandem. You know, you look at Pickford at Everton, gets hounded every week. You know, the defence is appalling. But, you know, that does play a part of it. But I'm not ready to crown him the goalkeeper for the next sort of 5 to 10 years. I still need some competition for him. Strikers, yeah, I agree with Mickey. We need a striker, but it needs to be a lump. It needs to be a big guy. You can't go out and sign Obafemi like a lot of us would, I do, and have Bradshaw and Nisbet and Obafemi. It's just pointless. It's absolutely pointless. If you're going to do that and sign Obafemi, you need to let one of the other two go because you need to get a target man. They're all the same type of striker. And I think, yeah, if you can go and sign 10 Billy Mitchells or 5 Billy Mitchells, 5 Ryan Leonards, then, you know, you've got a recipe there. You really have. But we need a baller in midfield. I think we need another proper general in the centre of midfield. I think we need a right-sided winger. Could be Longman, could be someone else. But again, need competition now. A centre-half and a left-back. Because I'd love Danny Mack to stay at left-back, but I'd love to have some experience. Not Joe Bryan. Get rid of him. 6 injuries since he's been out. Some experience to teach Danny Mack a little bit more. Help him learn from. So, yeah, I think the problem is we need a lot, gents. And we're going to lose a lot. And the finances ain't there. Fleming,
no,
Kaspar,
I mean,
and
also you've got to take into consideration as well that Husky ain't going to be here next season. And are we going to get a sponsor paying the same money what Husky got? I would.
To be fair, Husky didn't pay any money, did they?
Well, yeah, but they got there's a legal challenge wherever that's going. There's a legal challenge, and obviously, you know, hopefully money will be charged. But yeah, there's questions around it. But you know, that's not the first time a sponsor's been on the front of the shirt and paid fuck all money, is it? I mean, Euro Ferries as well. But are we going to get another sponsor who is going to pay the same sort of money as Husky paid? I don't think we will. I've got an idea who this next sponsor is going to be, and I think it's a Millwall company or a Millwall fans company, purely because I think they need a sponsor. And it would need to have been done a little while ago, purely because of the shirts would have been designed pretty much nearly a year ago, to be fair, for next season. And they will be delivered probably, hopefully, June, July time to start going on sale. Hopefully, if they can get shirts done quicker and start selling shirts June, July, then you hit the summer holidays and kids will take shirts on summer holidays and we might be able to get it. Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
Yeah, see,
we could do another show on this.
Craig knows. That's who's going to be on the front of the shirt next season.
And that's fine. Look, listen, that's another thing when we were talking about how bad the season's been. You know, obviously John and 4 managers been at the bottom of the league. The sponsors, you know, everything has been a bit of a shambles. I think if you get a stable sponsor, okay, they might not have the money that Husky have, but if it's there's some stability, regular finance,
I don't know if they can afford to be it, but yeah.
But it's just that's what we need, and you know, they're all of the issues in a way. And again, this might sound contradictory to everything we've said. It's a bit of a miracle that we've actually stayed up this year after everything that we've had to put up with off the pitch, on the pitch, players. You know, it's all been just one massive shambles. So many people, we've put it in comments on here. I've seen it on Twitter, in the WhatsApp groups. We just wanted the season over. We just want the season over, and you know, hopefully next year will be better. But I think it'll be okay. But I wouldn't count on getting the shirts pretty early.
Mate, mate, we should do a GoFund page. and fucking
Chris Brown's comment.
Oh no, I'll get that. I'll put that in a set. But we should have a GoFundMe page, and do put the podcast on either the back or the front or whatever, mate. Do you know what I mean? And then because you get tickets and all that for doing it, and then you'll get a load of tickets for the season or whatever. You'll get tickets, and then we just basically put them into a ballot, and then put them out to everyone who's chipped in and offer. Someone will win it every game or whatever it is. Because I think if you're a sponsor, you end up, getting the sponsors lounge and all that lot. So you'll get a benefit, and then just put it all back out to the fans. That'd be so funny, wouldn't it? To have
asked the question, mate.
Our thingy on there. I don't know, mate. I don't want to go begging for people. That's why
just TMP in small letters, just on the embroidery at the back of the shirt there, just TMP.
Yeah, or just on the back of the shirt, like Wiggins's or where Mason's was. Do you know what I mean? That's probably about 20-30 grand. So yeah, there's Chris's one here. I believe in miracles.
I like that,
mate. I'd love to, but I reckon realistically to put on the front of the shirt. Who was there when we done the playoff? I think the company what was there then, I can't remember who it was. I think it was about 75-80 grand per season, and then if it got into the playoffs, it doubled to about 150. But as someone else put in there, I mean, I don't think they're far wrong, to be fair. But it was about 5 million over 5 seasons. So yeah, about 400. I think it was about 400 grand, 500 grand a year or whatever. So, we definitely haven't got that, mate. I'd love to, but yeah, definitely haven't. That Millwall podcast on the front of the shirts next season and fuck off Aldo on the back. It'll be. I think, as Craig said, I think it'll be that one. Millwall Calf. No, it won't be the Millwall Calf. Millwall Calf isn't owned by the Zampa Fish lot no more, mate. It's owned by Renewal, and 2 guys lease it back from Renewal. Now it's not owned by the people who used to own it. So that is not going to happen. So yeah, I wonder if they've been approached by Netflix. Probably not. They were approached by Apple, weren't they? And then something happened, and Apple were going to film Ted Lasso there, weren't they? And then they stopped. So yeah.
The last time we were involved with anything was that we had that was it Dream Team years ago on Sky? They used to. Do
you remember the Dream Team? Yeah,
Dream Team used to be filmed at the Den. But the underlying issue with all of that kind of stuff, as I say, is if they've got any sense, which it's questionable if they do have sense at this point. But if they've got any sense, they will learn from some of the mistakes from last year. They will get the sponsor sorted, maybe perhaps a bit quicker. They will get shirts out for the kids for the summer holidays. We're not going to, touch wood, have 4 managers and all of the kind of circus off the field and stuff that's going on. All that kind of stuff, as much as it maybe shouldn't, but it does impact what goes on the pitch. It does impact what goes on around the club. So if they can learn any lessons, it's get it a little bit sort of tighter off the pitch, and then on it, you might find that we have a slightly better season. And also, if players do come into the, I don't know how transfers work, but when players come in for a meeting, and if there's any hint of you ain't got a sponsor, we ain't got this, the training grounds now, are they really going to want to sign? Do you know what I mean? Those kind of questions, like the agents would kind of move them on to other places.
100%.
As I say, I might be being completely blind to everything, but I have hope that they won't fix everything in the summer. Don't think that's going to happen, but I think that they will get certain things better this summer than what they did last year.
They can't do any worse.
Oh, we're going to run a sweep. Let's do it then. We're going to run a sweepstake. Go on. What do you think they're going to get better this summer than last summer?
Well,
recruitment. Last year we recruited to play one system and one system only. That is absolutely ridiculous, and a system that didn't work the year before under Rowett. So yeah, I think they'll get that slightly better.
No, I don't think they will, but carry on. Go on. Next one, you think they'll get better than they did last time? I think Neil Harris will choose what he wants, and if we get another manager, it'll be a different system. But yeah, go on.
It'll be. I think the sponsorship I think that you'll hear. I think towards the end of the season, they'll sort that out. That it will publicly. It was all big news for about 2 weeks, and then it's gone quiet. That will be sorted, and you'll actually have someone that's actually funding the club, whether it be a small amount or a large amount. And
What's that? Sorry, I missed that beginning bit. Who's going to be funding the club?
No, as in sponsorship, there'll be a sponsor that's actually putting money into the club rather than what we're led to believe that Husky. They will. You cannot have a club that in the Championship not have a sponsor. Can't happen.
Oh, I think we'll have a sponsor, and I think there will be an agreement with that sponsor. But do I think they'll be putting in the same money what Husky did at the beginning part? No chance. And do I think that it will all be a cash transaction one way? No. I think there'll probably be cash and services potentially. That's how I think the deal will be done.
But it still would add stability. It still wouldn't be like a circus behind the scenes of no one knows what's going on and basically everyone doing whatever they want and no one really understanding that's going on at the minute. Personally.
Yeah, to be fair, Mark, the last kit supplier went pop 2 years ago, or the November the year before, wasn't it, or whatever. So yeah, I mean that they went, and obviously everything went into receivership and cost them a lot of money. So yeah, I mean John Berylson must have a few business contacts for a sponsor. Well, you would have thought so, but none of them are coming in the time where he was there. It'll be interesting to see, or even would Chestnut Hill Ventures sponsor us? I don't know. I do think that wouldn't it make sense for the commercial guy to do a deal with Groupon or wherever he's driving these foreign supporters to the Den, give away the opportunity to sponsor at the club for a fee and tickets? Yeah, it's not bad. Not a bad thingy, mate. That's not a bad shout.
Did you find it interesting that Harris mentioned that he didn't care whether the supporters were 20,000 from Birmingham or foreign supporters? I find that really interesting because it's not something that you think Harris would ever think about or talk about.
Yeah, but you see, I think with that again, there is a collective strategy across all of football to attract overseas fans, because don't forget the new TV contracts coming in, and primarily a lot of that is going to be focused overseas. A lot of that's going to be focusing overseas to attract people, and we are one of the easiest clubs to get a ticket for on the day in London. So you look at Arsenal Dortmund, when it was Arsenal Dortmund when we were playing as well, we had a load of Dortmund fans come to the game. So yeah, it's one of those. We will always attract. So yeah.
Also, remember on that, I forgot about that. The fact that we've stayed in the Championship, if we are going to get a new TV deal, that is more funds that can be used. For other. I know other clubs will benefit as well, so they'll have the funds too. But for us, having never been able to spend anything or have those additional millions, then that's only a good thing as well. That comment's brilliant, by the way.
75, thanks, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's in 1975, not 1957, cheeky fucker. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. But look, same as what Green Boy 24/7, which I think is Ben's burner account. You can't take it away. Look, whatever Harris done is scared the players into actually, shithousery win yesterday, and it saved us. We are on 53 points, and that is it. We're done. We don't have to worry about next game and the next game. We are there. We don't have to worry about Plymouth. We don't have to worry about Fee. And there was a question earlier on. I started it. There's a question earlier on. Do you think now that basically now that we're pretty much safe, do you think you now play the youth team? A few of the youth players in the final two games. What's your thoughts on that?
Have to. If he rolls out the same team, albeit the team that's kept us up, if he rolls out the same team against Plymouth and against Swansea, I'll be bitterly disappointed, because there's a lot of work that has to be done before next season with this squad. You need to start the process now. We've been given a respite where we've got 2 weeks of the season before some clubs below us, that we can exercise that right. And you can play Adam Mayer, you can play Kevin Nisbet, you can play these players that are not getting games at the moment, and see what we've got in them. See if they're going to be a squad player next year. If they're better off going out on loan, play SA, play him in a 10 or wherever it is. You know, Harris might see him as his best position, and see, does he need a loan move? You have to start the process now. A lot of these players ain't going to be here. I don't want to see Joe Bryan. I don't want to see Alan Campbell in the squad. I don't want to see Obafemi, you know, through what he's done. Don't want to see him play Saturday because he's probably not going to be here. So why give him Millwall minutes to a non-Millwall player? Tanganga as well. Don't play Tanganga. Play Sean Hutchinson. He deserves a send-off in his last game at the Den. Play him. You know.
Daily Mills says, for the Swansea game, yes, Plymouth is an integrity issue because they are still battling for relegation.
The only thing I can see that Harris might go for it a bit more with his tried and proven, sorry, get my words out, against Plymouth, is to keep his home record at the Den intact. That's the only way I can see that. Plymouth might be fighting relegation. I don't care if we lose 10-0. I don't care if we lose minus 20 goal difference in the next 2 weeks. I don't care because it don't matter. These games do not matter to us. What matters to us is seeing what we've got for next season, seeing where we need to improve. Have we got the depth in certain positions with the youth players we've got in the squad? If not, can they go out on loan? That process has to start as soon as the 90th minute on against Sunderland when that final whistle went. The process has to start now.
I sort of agree with London Lion there. Just a quick one. If you are watching on Twitter, you can comment to the show and your comments will come through direct to us. So there is a lot of you watching on Twitter tonight. And just so you're aware that if you are watching, you can comment. Comment, obviously, while you're on the stream watching it. And your comments will come up on screen and we will, you know, see your comments and take questions or anything else. And again, if you have a question for the panel or you want to ask us anything, then, do just submit your questions. There is a lot starred what we will come back to. So but I agree with him, you know, field a weekend team, let Plymouth smash us, and then hopefully put Birmingham and Sheffield Wednesday. We'll come on to who do you want for relegation in a little bit, I think. So, yeah.
Just out of interest, Jay, obviously we spoke about it just before we come on. If we play the same team as we did yesterday, next week, minus, so say Remain SA comes back in and gets a start over, say, George Honeyman, and then in the second half you get 45 minutes out of Amaku, Nisbet and Mayer. For me, I think that would be the better way to go. Give the players an opportunity that have got us out of it to have that final home game. Give them the 45 minutes and then introduce players. That's the way I would probably go about it. I get that we need to plan moving forward, but I do think Harris is not gonna. He's not gonna just go, it doesn't matter. I think it does matter to him. I think it matters to him a lot more than what people might think. And see the youngsters, but perhaps in the second half.
Yeah, and like I said, Harris is obviously going to have one eye on keeping the home record intact, which is fair enough. I don't ever want to go to a home game and lose. I don't ever want to go to a football game and lose. But I think for the longer term, you know, we need to start the process now because it's not a typical off-season at Millwall this season. There's so much to be done. There isn't enough time to do it. Other clubs are doing it as well, you know, and I feel like we're a step behind with what we need, the finances we have. I agree to your point, you know, see him in the second half. That'd be great. But I want to see him for an extended period of time because giving him 10 minutes, giving him 15 minutes is not enough to see that. You know, George Honeyman was banged up against Sunderland. I thought was pretty poor against Sunderland. I wouldn't play him. Don't risk him. He's done well this season. Have you well-earned rest? We'll see these players at the final whistle come walk around the pitch anyway. And we can thank them like that, you know. But I just want to see, look, Imaku's future's up in the air. Is he a starter here? SA's is. Adam Mayer hasn't barely sniffed the first team, you know. Leahy in the under-21s, I see a few comments about that. I had a question about him as well. What's he got about him? Stick him on the bench. Abdul Malik, you know, Hutchinson needs to see some games. We've got to start looking at what we've got whilst also trying to protect what Harris wants to do at the Den because he's a proud man. He never wants to lose games at the Den. I understand that. But if it was 45 minutes of either, like they do in a World Cup friendly or something, completely change the team, I'll be happy. But we have to see it. It can't be 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. And I don't think one game of 45 minutes is enough. You have to see it at Swansea as well.
Barry Taylor says, JJ, I care if we lose 10-0.
I don't care at this point. Don't care.
Because we're going up.
Yeah, we're going up. I don't care. Come and beat us 15-0 as long as I see SA and go, do you know what? He's a player for us next season. That's warranted losing 10-0 for me. I don't care.
I think Harris, he did it a couple of years ago, I think, didn't he, at Wolves? Yeah. Was it Jamie Philpott?
Alfie Pavey. Alfie Pavey. And Philpott scored, I think.
Yeah, they both got minutes at Wolves on the last day. I think that was Harris when we got relegated.
It was. It was Harris.
When Holloway before Holloway was relieved. So I think there could be a chance maybe at Swansea that he goes there and he gives a couple of the young lads an opportunity. I just think, personally, I would like to see the likes of Amaku, Maya, SA get more game time, but I would like us to go to the Den next week and win the game. And I think the way to do that is to play the first team and do the things that have got you to this point. Mickey, I can see, I'm going to try and lead you on nicely. I can see that you've added a poll on YouTube.
We can only do 4 teams on it, so I'll do another one in a bit with the other 3 teams. But
we've put up who's joining Rotherham in the relegation battle at the moment. You can vote on Huddersfield, Birmingham, Sheffield Wednesday, and Plymouth. And on the subject of relegation, and I'm sure guys in the chat will be feeling the same. Can you imagine what it must be like this evening and this week being a Huddersfield or Birmingham fan, knowing that that's the next fixture? For me, it would be awful for us to be in that position to be having to play a team that's you're competing with to stay
We'd
up.
lose.
So,
we'd lose that game. 100%. We would absolutely lose that game. Let's make no qualms about it. We would lose that game. Even under Harris, I feel. Even under Harris, we would lose that game. And that is the biggest thing that needs to change next season. Sorry to interrupt you, Stephen, but Harris said it in his presser that we're a typical Millwall team. We lose to the bottom teams. We beat the top teams. He doesn't want that to be the case. He's not liked that. He's acknowledged that. What I thought was interesting, he also acknowledged that we're down the bottom. We don't want to be down the bottom. We don't want to be fighting this position next season. Previously, Harris has said that that's a good season for Millwall. Around then. So Harris is starting to have elevated progression plans, so this is good stuff. It's all good stuff. The sooner it starts, the better. But yeah, if we had to play Huddersfield next week or Birmingham, we are losing that game.
I'm just going to highlight something here for 1 sec. That comment there, they don't. The person who owns Kraft Heinz, which is obviously part of Heinz as well, is Warren Buffett, and then a load of financial institutions. I don't think they're up in 2 secs, but I don't honestly believe that unless it's through a thingy. So yeah, I mean, the people who own the most is Warren Buffett, Vanguard in the index funds, Invesco, iShares, SPDR, and a load of others. There doesn't look as if there's any other company what's associated with John Berylson's wife Lucy anywhere near it, mate. So John Berylson's mother, I don't think, unless it's in a trust fund there. But yeah, I thought you said wife. Sorry, but the mother, I don't think it is. I know Warren Buffett's the biggest shareholder, so of Heinz. So yeah. Or Kraft Heinz, whatever it is, they fucked up. They fucked up something. I can't remember, cheese or something they did, didn't they? I can't remember what they did. They fucked it up when they brought it. So yeah, chocolate Cadbury's. That's what they brought, didn't they? Kraft brought Cadbury's as well, and then fucked it.
Put that in the chat. Yeah, someone's put that in the chat. I think with you're right, Jay. I think Harris has learned that you can't just sit in this division and go, we're underdogs and we're going to have siege mentality and that's all we're good for, basically. Because that's basically, in a nutshell, how he summed us up.
Yeah.
And I do see and I can understand how there might be some optimism for him for change and things like that. All I wish we could have a home manager and an away manager. Yeah. Because honestly, watching Millwall away from home, and myself, Ben, and Omar from obviously the other guys who do the show went to Blackburn. It was absolutely woeful. It was terrible. Southampton away, whilst it was a great day, the atmosphere was brilliant. Harris's first game, we weren't good. We wasn't. We scored
19% possession.
Yeah,
do you know what? Just one step before you carry on, Steve. In the comments, right? Put in the comments, right, who you would have as a home manager and who you would have as an away manager. So if you had to choose two managers, who would be your anyone you want, but who would be your home manager and who would be your away manager? And you don't have to stick to like where our budget is, wherever. If you really want, you could have fucking Pep as our home manager and fucking Steven Gerrard as our away manager if you wanted. I just want to see your imagination of home manager, away manager, because we might make something out of it. So yeah, who would you put? Go on, Stephen. Sorry, mate.
I wouldn't have anyone other than Neil Harris as our own manager. Both don't lose at the Den. But it's just away from, like I say, we went to Blackburn. We were terrible. I mean, it was a bumbling goal. Obafemi took it well, and then a mistake to let them score. Southampton, we didn't really do an awful lot. Leeds, again, they were at the top of the league. I don't think we disgraced ourselves that day, but obviously we were beaten. Rotherham wasn't great. Huddersfield wasn't great. Yesterday wasn't great. But I think that's where Harris needs to improve. He's got to have an option to play away from home. You can't just send the players out and say, "We'll hope for the best and get a point," because this is not going to work.
The thing to that, though, Steve, is that we need the players to be able to adapt to changes as well.
That's it.
This is the thing. We have no plan B at Millwall. We have every player is the same as the player that backs them up. Every striker we have is the backup to that striker is the same player. Every winger, it's the same winger. We need a plan B for us to be able to adapt and change, because at home it's easier. We could, the crowd are behind us, and there's a fear factor. It's always difficult to play away from home for teams, and at home that works for us. Away from home, we try and take the Den to away games, and it don't work. And partly because we have no plan B. That's the biggest thing. I'll quickly throw my two in there before I'll send it back to you. And apologies for interrupting again. No. You need a Harris type manager that knows how to adapt and win games away from home. For me, that's Neil Warnock, Tony Mowbray. They're probably the two I would look at, and keep Harris at home. And I can send it back to you.
I just obviously in there. You can't have an away team manager. I get that, but it just the contrast between the two.
Have you seen these?
Yeah, I'm reading them now. Yeah.
Sadiq Khan as home manager, so he'd make it a really hard place.
Oh, that's the best one, Sadiq Khan.
But yeah, Harris needs to learn away from home.
Yeah, big time.
At home, I've got no issues that we'll amass a decent amount of points under him, and that's just how it will be. But away from home, he does need to learn. And I know the players do have to take some responsibility and maybe carry out instructions better. But just because you're not playing at the Den doesn't mean that you can't create 4, 5, 6 chances. No. It doesn't mean that you can't get on the front foot when you're on the ball. And also, and Harris alluded to it, how many times did we give the ball away yesterday? The passing, just consistently giving it away. It doesn't matter if you're at home, at Wembley, in the new camp, wherever. If you can't pass the ball, you've got no hope.
The thing is as well, though. Sorry, Mick. The thing is as well is that we've only seen we've had to play the way we've played because Harris was given a very specific task: keep us up. It doesn't matter how you do that, you keep us up. And Harris has gone back to the way he knows how. Now we don't know what type of manager Harris has evolved into. He's been at a number of clubs. He's been away from the club for 5 years, 6 years. He's built some experience. He's built some contacts. He's got used to different ways of playing, different personnel. So we might see a different way of playing football next season. We haven't seen it because we've had one job to do You know, so
he's not had a free reign, has he? So
exactly, all cards on the table, might see something.
I'll tell you. So let's get into some of these. Yeah, these are quite funny. So where is it? Craig's on Neil Harris home. Neil Harris home, Warnock away.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what we think. Adam Barrett will always be there.
That's true, isn't it?
On that, before you put up some more of those, before I forget, did anyone see that Adam Barrett was coaching
Billericay? Billericay.
That's his level.
And the person who saw him said, "Well done for yesterday," and you know, well done to the lads and all that. And all he got was a smile, no comment. So yeah,
he's a prick, and he don't deserve.
Harris Warwick. You say that, but the board love him and the fucking players love him.
I don't know why.
Right. Cut Harris some slack. He's had 48 hours with team pre-Saints game.
Oh, listen.
He's pulled wonders there, mate.
That's
Absolutely
that wasn't a dig at Harris saying that he had 40, you know, that we didn't play well. But what I'm saying is if you look at our away performances as a collective, they've not been great. Yes, we've amassed a few, 7 points away from home. But the football has been very, very, very tough to watch.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So Pep at home, Xavier Alonso away. Evening, Bobby. We need to catch up, mate. Need to do your show, and also I need to pick up all my large amount of samples for Tom Ford of variation and Mont Blanc and some other great ones. What you probably have. There's a Louis Vuitton one as well, which is quite nice, but it's about £320 a bottle. I don't know if you can get samples of that. Sorry, taking away. Harris home, Klopp away.
Nah.
Ray Harford and Steve Griff. Harris home, Kieran McKenna away. Some of these are quite interesting. The Pound Shop would be a good fit as sponsor. At least our players would be in the same value as the company's products. Neil Harris away and a male manager, McKenna. Harris away, Eddie Howe home, away, Eddie Howe. Alex Ferguson, get enough added time to make sure we win. Harris home, Mark Robbins away.
Mark Robbins is great. He's a great manager. And Coventry were absolutely robbed earlier, by the way, in the FA Cup semi-final. Absolutely robbed.
Fuck it, we're not talking FA Cup. We're not going down that route tonight. We'll be here for another 5 hours. I'm up before.
I think they're going to back down, to be fair. The FA's, I think, is going to have to go. Because since we said what we want, all of a sudden, the EFL come out and all the managers have come out and everyone's come out of it. Now they're all sitting there going, mate. So it just proves that what Steve said in the morning was proved, wasn't it? So, yeah, here we go. Hello, gang. How to beat shit teams at home next season?
To be fair, Joe, the current bottom three, the current bottom three, we beat two of them at home and drew with one. Admittedly, it was a last-minute penalty, but we beat Birmingham, we drew with Huddersfield, last-minute penalty, and we beat Rotherham. So that isn't necessarily the issue at home. It's away. It's all away from home under Harris. It's all away from home.
Yeah, where we see that's not a bad shout, is it?
Deitch, I wouldn't have Deitch.
No, but it's not a bad shout. That one's I wouldn't have.
I'd replace Adam Barrett with Deitch. No problem.
What about Hickenbottom?
Yeah, I like him.
Harris home, Warnock away.
He's an arrogant geezer.
We need a 6'2" striker the way Harris plays. For Leeds, it's
Peter Sutcliffe. Peter Sutcliffe was amazing away from home because he never committed any crimes in Bradford or anything, did he? It was all in Leeds. He was a brilliant away from home. Best attacker Leeds have ever had, didn't he?
That's funny. That is funny.
Yeah, thanks for that. We're live, by the way. Jay wide awake tonight. Yeah, Alex Pearce and Sean Williams away.
100% record they got. Preston.
Is there an away day draw this evening? Is there a giveaway draw this evening? Evening, boys. Bomber only went and fucking done it. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
When we're doing the Who Are You, Mickey, you said that you're sorting that out.
Bobby. Yeah, I'll do it. Mickey on the sponge again. On the sponge again? What's on the sponge again? Has Mickey got a fez? He went all the way to Turkey. Where's your fez? Fuck off. I'm not Danny Baker. Harris away, Dutch away. Edwards for Tappy Pretty Football. We're in the Champions League. That must be Ben's thingy,
Yeah,
mate.
That's Ben's burner account.
Stick to
Edwards
blue.
couldn't win a game in the Championship, let alone in the Champions League.
Harris home, Mickey away. Sorry, spelt wrong way. That's all right. Home and away. Clip it and ship it. So, yeah, no. There's a few. Alex Ray would be a good one, but, yeah, I don't know about that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And going back to the other thing, the person who introduced, you might have got confused, by the way, with the Kraft Group, but the person who introduced John Berylson to Millwall was Robert Kraft, who was the CEO of Kraft. Whether or not that's what you meant, I don't know. But yeah. Squeezing Bobby dry. Fucking right, mate. He works for Harrods, mate. Why wouldn't I? Listen, you're not going to listen. You know, those aftershaves I was talking about, mate, start about 300 quid upwards. So, yeah, if he's got samples, mate, fucking right, Chris. Absolutely right, mate. Do you know what I mean? Always out for a bargain, mate. Do you know what I mean?
That's Bobby getting called into the manager's office in the morning.
Do you know, most Millwall fans, mate, when I was fan of all that, do you know, so many Millwall fans, mate, used to buy kids' tickets, go in the kids' end, and then literally jump over the railings up to block 17, 18, mate. So, you know, don't listen, you know, we love a few quid, mate, and keep them. We don't give them away. So, yeah. Bradshaw, Sav, and Leonard signing new contracts. Who leaves? There we go. Let's go to Tony Turret's point. Who leaves? Hutch, Wallace, Harding, Bart. I'd like to see us improve on what more. Last few games has been okay, but not good enough. Question to you, Jay.
I think they probably do leave. I think that you would need replacements before you let any of them leave. Before any people leave, we need to have replacements. We're not in a position to just let people leave. We've got enough of that. Anyway, you know, if Harding's an interesting one, because I honestly thought he was nailed on to play under Neil Harris. He is a Neil Harris player, but for some reason doesn't like him. So, yeah, if he goes, Alex Mitchell comes back in, but you're also losing Tanganga. You're also losing Sean Hutchinson. So, you know, we need people in before we can think about leaving. They're probably the suspects I'd look at moving if we do get replacements. But, yeah, it's let's sort out who we're getting in first and who's actually going to walk before we start talking about incomings.
Richard Cowley says Murray Wallace has another year on his contract.
He does, as does Wes Harding. And realistically, being honest, can you see anybody realistically coming in and signing them? Okay, if they want to drop to League Two or something like that, then obviously they'd probably get picked up. But again, our clubs, we can't let players go for free like what we have been. So people would have to pay a fee. Are we going to get a fee for Wes Harding? Are we going to get a fee for Murray Wallace? It's just not going to happen.
I'd keep Wes Harding though. I'd keep him.
Possibly as backup with Mitchell coming in. I think you're right though, Jay. Whilst we know that players get released and that happens at the end of the season, everyone who's under contract needs to be in the building come the first day of pre-season for Harris to go, right, what we got, where are we going, what do we need? And then if you bring in, say, 3 centre-halves, including Alex Mitchell, then you could let Murray Wallace go.
Yeah,
if you bring in a couple of midfielders, then you can let someone else go and work.
Joe's right. We need to create money for the rebuild to happen. And what assets do we have? And they're probably the only 2 assets that we have.
How much are we going to get for them?
Well, I think
20% sell on has to go back to Zion's club.
The thing is that we ain't going to get nothing. It's either you get something or nothing, you know. And this club needs massive reinvestment. We're not got the finances to do it, so you know it's better than a kick in the teeth. Whatever you get, you need.
So you get 5 million for those 2 players.
Yeah.
Right. How much of that do you think is going to be reinvested?
Just before we answer
75%, I think.
Yeah, but I think you might get more for Fleming in the sense, not loads more, but I think the club will be looking at between 3 and 5 million for him alone. They're going to try and squeeze as much as they can. I know his performances, and again,
only got 1 year left.
Yeah, I get that, but also look at his numbers. He's been in English football for 2 seasons. He's got 22 goals. in a team. Let's face it, this year we've been crap. So you can sell on numbers. So I think they'd look to try and get around 3 to 5 million. And I agree with Jay's comment that about 70% ish would probably be reinvested into. They'd obviously keep some funds back, but I think they realised they would have to. We've all spoke about it. You buy players, you sell them, you invest in other ones, and you keep doing that until you become sustainable.
7 million for those 2 players will be on instalment deal. They won't be upfront payments. They'll be on instalment deals, and we will probably reinvest, if you're lucky, maybe 2 million of that. If you're lucky,
then the club will never progress.
Then that's why we are where we are.
I mean, I thought we had no money leading into the summer, and we went and spent nearly 2 million on Casper De Nore and went and spent the same on Kevin Nisbet. And all of a sudden we look like we were spending a bit of money. The money does seem to come from somewhere when desperate times happen, whether that's within payments over time or whatever But it's interesting to see what James Berylson wants to do with that. How is the investment going to come? Is it going to come in a sense where, Neil, this is the money you've got, go out and get what you need? Because Neil's a head coach, he's not the manager. So Neil's not going to be involved in that type of process. He might give him a list of types of players he wants, or maybe even a list of names for certain positions. But he's not going to be the one behind the scenes doing that like a manager does, because they're 2 different roles for people that don't know.
Have we really signed Casper on a 4-year deal? Because
it was announced, I think, as a significant.
It was significantly long term, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a long-term deal normally for them. For Millwall,
3 years.
2 years. Yeah, well, 2 years with a year extension. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But look, at the end of the day, if money's not there to invest in this squad, then money will be made available by selling the assets that we do have, which are Casper De Nore and Fleming. I still think there is money in Remain SA. Maybe not millions and millions, but I still think on potential there's money there. But if to become self-sustainable, to get the club in a better position, you've got to be bringing in players and selling them at a higher price than what you brought them in for. They missed the boat massively with Fleming last year. They can still recoup some funds from him this year. And also, don't forget, and the work that's been put in behind the scenes, our academy are now producing teams that are winning competitions at their age group.
Yeah.
There will be clubs looking at their under 18s, looking at our under 21s, going, right, they must have something going on down there, because they're winning competitions. We got to the semi-final of the FA Youth Cup. Again, it's a shame we might not ever see any of those players in the first team. But if we get someone like what Man City did with that Edozie and whatnot, and go, right, we're going to give you X amount of million for a 17-year-old you've never seen play, I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. The academy's doing its job.
3 year, by the way, 3 year with an option for another year extension.
No, I want to keep Zian Fleming. I want to keep Casper De Nore. I think Casper De Nore in a system that isn't what we've been trying to do to stay up. Casper's got a massive part to play next season. I think Zian has as well. They are quality players.
Do you think Casper is a bit like, or Longman? The Longman someone put earlier that is a bit like Jed Wallace in the first year Harry signed him.
Maybe in terms of they're similar types of player. They both have raw pace, raw ability that just needs harnessing, and you need a good manager and a good system to bring that out of them. I do think that the similarities are there like that. Jed Wallace was a leader on top of that though as well. Jed Wallace would get the crowd going. I don't think Longman's got that in him that much. I don't think he's all out there. He shows a bit of fight, and you've seen him argue with a few players. Maybe it's a good comparison. You couldn't argue with a comparison on types of player, positioning, style of play, a bit of flair. You couldn't argue it, but is he going to be as good as Jed Wallace has been for Millwall? I highly doubt that, because not many have, and not many did before him. So I'm not too sure.
have to say, I don't think we're a selling club. We are a club that lets our players go for free.
But that needs to change. That's what we're discussing. That's got to be. Look at your Bristol Cities, your Blackburns, and that all selling players for 20 odd million. You become self-sufficient. You make 20 million on one player. The club is self-sufficient. For everything else, the finances get spread elsewhere.
We need to sort the regen out double quick because it's still not sorted. We're waiting for the elections now. But as soon as that regen's sorted and we can start building around the Den and produce income through rent and selling properties, etc., and plough that into the club will become a lot more self-sufficient rather than having the Brelson or Chestnut Hill Ventures putting money into the club. And that's where, that was JB's dream, was to basically have that development around the club, to plough money into the club so that he didn't have to keep ploughing money in. And it would obviously make the club a lot more financially secure because there's money coming in. But again, that's 10 years now. And again, the training ground ain't moved, but again, prices have changed. So, I don't know, maybe the training ground will be scaled back a bit and then built on as we get, more and more money involved. But I don't know, because it's going to cost them 30-40 million to build that place.
And that's it. And that's where you start with what's the best way for a football club to make money. And that's in the transfer market. That's by producing players. John Berylson put a lot of money into the academy when there was a statement a few years ago about wanting to have an academy and putting some money.
No, we had an academy, then they shut it.
But growing it and putting significant investment into the academy. And now you're seeing that the 18s and the 21s are coming through and they're winning competitions. So it was the right way to go, but you've got to harness that into selling those players or getting them into the first team. We're all talking about who we're going to bring in. If these kids in these teams are as good as what people say they are and as good as they look to be on paper, Archie Gray at Leeds, can't stand the guy. But he's 17 years old. They've put him in the first team. Why can't we do that with some of our 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, and give them the opportunity to play? And then all of a sudden, you've got clubs knocking on the door, £20 million offers.
Did Sunderland play a 15, 16-year-old yesterday?
I don't think that young, but I know Wolves had one in the Premier League in their squad that had to skip. There was a joke that he had to skip science in the week to go to training or something. But Bellingham's brother can't be that much older. He must be in his, as a teenager. So it can work.
Look, he was 16. Chris Rigg.
Oh, there you go.
Chris Rigg is 16.
Oh, there you go. So if other clubs are willing to do it, if our academy is as good as it looks to be on paper, why can't we do that and give them the shop window?
He did, yeah. Kenny Jackett shut down the development team. And that's why we then, when JB come in and JB fired it back up, that's why it took a few years to get back. And I still think we're only level 2, I think, or level, we're not School of Excellence or whatever level we're sort of below it. So, yeah, but hey ho, it is what happens, isn't it? So, yeah.
But if all it takes is for one of those players in that 18s or the 21s to really make it and be sold for a reasonable amount of money, and it's done its job, because then the club can start investing and then you get better players and stuff like that. I know it's easy to say it and you've got to do it, but that's the way forward.
No, let's see. I'll get that. So, yeah, it's we will probably be going into the youth players over the season break. We have 2 games left. Obviously, we've got some shows. We do have some Who Are Yous going into the bank. I am doing a player this week. We've spoken before about him, but we couldn't do it, and then we've now got him. Stephen's got a couple of other people being lined up as well. We've got hopefully a few ex-players for some interviews as well coming up. So there'll be a few things in the bank. Bobby, get in touch. Drop me an email, info@thatmillwallpodcast.co.uk. Or you've got my number, actually. Just drop me a WhatsApp, fella, and we'll organise a time to do it. That one's going to be an entertaining one.
Jay's has got to go out soon as well. Jay's has got to go out soon.
Mine's been sitting there for about 6 years, I think.
Yeah, thereabouts, mate. So we put Jay's out as well. Maybe put Jay's out this week, midweek, maybe. And if there is anyone else who wants to be involved in next year for Who Are You? So, we'll pre-record it over the closed season as such. But if you want to be on Who Are You? Basically, if you've not already know or you are new to watching us, Who Are You is 20 questions based around your time supporting Millwall. So, your favourite player, your favourite game, your best memory, your best away game, etc., etc. Questions like that. Nothing was going to incriminate you, nothing was going to get you into trouble or anything. It's just 20 questions based around your time following Millwall. You can have whoever you want to do it, but normally it is Stephen's show. Stephen will do it. We're also going to be posting out over the next couple of days a waiting list for a prediction league, what will be coming in next year. So if you are interested about joining the prediction league, then just get your name in that on there, and then as soon as it starts coming, then we'll email you out with all how to log in, etc., etc. It will be free. There will be some prizes up for grabs. Everything else, we've got some good stuff going forward for next season. Some exciting times, some new shows, some new content, a new look website, and some massive news regarding that. And again, if there is anyone out there who wants to, look at sponsoring the show and whatnot, mate, you want your logo at the bottom of these live shows, then get in touch. We can have a conversation. Our chosen charity for next year, we have a chosen charity now for next year. So our cricket match in the summer, which again, there'll be a list for that. So if you're interested in playing for that, there'll be something for that. We'll go from there. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, one other thing before Stephen comes in. Massive thank you to everyone who is watching us on YouTube and watches our stuff on YouTube. We not only hit 1 million views, we smashed it to bits. We're well over it now, and we are growing fast. So again, if you haven't subscribed to us yet, please do, because it helps us unbelievably, and helps us get in front of more and more Millwall fans, etc. So thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. And we're flying up. Subs are flying up. So if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you press that like button. Let's see if we can hit 100 likes today. We're 75 in a minute. Let's see if we can do that. That's it from me. Go on, Stephen. I forgot your name then. Go on, fella.
Wow. I'll just really echo what Mickey said. Obviously, we've got loads of stuff that we're working on over the summer. I've got some ideas, Jay, all the panelists. Without the guys that watch it, though, we appreciate you spending your Sundays, Fridays, and whatever other days we put shows out with us. It's been a hard season this year. We're safe now, so we can enjoy these shows a little bit more, and we're not stressing about relegation and going down and stuff like that. So thank you very much for the support. If you do want to do Who Are You and all that kind of stuff, please get in contact. 2 plugs from me. I am playing in the charity game on behalf of the Food Hub. It's the Food Hub Cup and the under 40s game. There is an over 40s, which I think our very own Joe Zampa plays in. My game, which is obviously going to be the better one, is on Friday, the 17th of May. It's free entry at the Den. They ask for donations and things on the day, but if you fancy coming and watching me make an absolute fool of myself at the Den, please do. And finally, from me, this will be the last time I'm plugging it, so everyone will be delighted that I'm gonna. Well, actually, it's true, Mickey, because the raffle ends on Wednesday, so I can get to.
And then Thursday and Friday will be the Millwall boxes, what we were going to do before, but then he coming with his shirt. So once that shirt's done, there'll be 2 Millwall boxes auctions, one for Mind and one for the Royal British Legion. So that will be coming in towards the weekend and run for a couple of weeks.
I do have, so the final time I'm going to be plugging this, the Byron Webster's signed shirt from Tony Craig's testimonial. I've raised a little bit of money with it. Obviously, John Reynolds, who may well be listening to the show tonight, I know he does, kindly donated. We'll get the link in the description sorry. So if you guys want to donate to it, it's £5 a ticket. All the funds go to Mind Charity. So far this year, thanks to the guys from the chat and obviously other people that I know, I've raised nearly £900 for Mind. It is an important charity to me. So thank you very much for your support. If you do want to bid on the shirt, the raffle ends on Wednesday, and the aim is whoever wins will get the shirt at Plymouth at the Plymouth game on Saturday. So thank you for the support and everything that I've done personally, and also to the channel this year. It's very much appreciated.
Right, there we go. So that's nice. So, Jay, have you got anything you want to say, mate?
No, just thank you everybody for sticking with us with the hard times, the good times. I've not been here very long, but look, all of you viewers have all been very good. You've embraced me as part of your community as much as Mickey, Stephen, and the others have embraced me as a panelist for the show. So look, we got a good thing going here. You know, the community's great. You guys are great. And there's a lot of things in the pipeline that are going to make it even better. It's going to streamline us that. We're over 1 million now, 1 million views on the socials. It's only going to get better. So next season's only going to get better as well. You know, let's start looking up, trending up, and hopefully we're all on the same ride together. So yeah, appreciate everybody and glad it's over now and we can start looking to them sort of things and not talk about relegation anymore.
No, that's it. Right, go on then. If you want to give away, let's go. Just make a comment. Anything you want in that comment. If you haven't already commented yet, get a comment in. If you're watching on Twitter, get a comment in now. You've got about a minute or so. I'll give you to get it all in and then go from there. Stephen sent me the link. What I'll be able to put in the comments later. I'm on a different computer, so I can't do it now. Oh, Dan Riggs, look, Hezbollah. Come on, quick. Any comment you want. If you're watching on Twitter, get your comments in. Go on, keep going. What's there? There's only 30 of you in there. There's about 700 of you watching across all things, but there's only about 30 odd of you now. If you want to win a prize, I'm going to do 10 draws. So 10 10 key ring opportunities for you, but you need to get a comment in now. Whatever you want in the comments. Whatever you want in the comments. You've got about a minute or so left. Come on. And then I'm going to end the show with a special treat.
Everybody's just writing comment.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They do. Oh, can I just say,
I fucking love that.
As much as I hate Palace, thank you very much for today, mate. For absolutely upsetting West Ham by beating them 5-2. Did you see that?
Yes. Did you see Sarkic on Instagram? By the way,
yeah, I put that.
How have we not spoke about that?
Go on and speak about it now because I need to get a video up. So go on and speak about it.
Sarkic. So there was a comment. Sarkic put something up, and a fan had put a picture of West Ham kit or whatever in response to Sarkic, because he plays for Millwall, and he just commented back. It was so perfect, just with a clown emoji, just saying 5-2. Just perfect response. Like, that's our goalkeeper. If I was on the fence before, he's definitely winning us round with stuff like that. What's your thoughts on that, Stephen?
The best part about it is actually the amount of supporters that picked up on it and just hammered. It was a West Ham fan who put the gif of Jared Bowen or whatever, and it's just perfect. I think it just proves the point that that at the moment, as what we've spoke about, Neil Harris has got the players believing that they play for Millwall Football Club and what it takes, and he's just kind of thought, you know what, I'm not having this, and made a little bit of a joke with it. So well done, Matty Sarkic.
You got a 1 in 4 chance at the minute. Only 40 of you have made comments, so you got a 1 in 4 chance of winning a key ring in a minute, mate. So yeah, you've got about 30 seconds or so left, and then I'm going to do a chance for you to win 10 key rings.
Has just put can I
There's
ask
one
a question ref to West Ham? Sure.
Can I ask a question? Ref to West Ham.
Go on then, get it in, as in reference to West Ham.
Oh, go on then, get it in. George Long would have missed that comment.
Comment.
Yeah, he would have missed.
Flown right over his head. That's what he would have done.
He would have missed a lot of that comment. So yeah, go on, get that comment in, and then we're going. So we are going to go in 2 secs. I'm just lining up a couple of videos.
Cold potatoes ain't hot. I love some of these comments on some of these shows we've done. It's just pathetic. So funny.
Pathetic.
It's just so funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we go. Is anyone upset when other fans sing Bubbles? I don't get it. Oh, we've addressed that. It's more of a pathetic thing. How sad must they be to do that?
Yeah,
they think it riles us up, and it doesn't.
We just that's that day at Southampton when they had the phones with a West Ham badge.
Yeah,
like they were showing it to us. Then we went and scored, and you just see them slip the phone back into their pockets. Like, oh yeah, no, I can't. It's embarrassing.
We laugh at them. If anything, it doesn't make us angry. Doesn't me anyway.
Right then, I'm going to press this button, and then straight back, we're going to do the draw. Give you a preview of stuff what's coming next season. You see, I'm thinking we'll start whetting your appetite. Right, here we go then. We're going to do 10 giveaways. 3, 2. There's 43 of you in there. Here we go. Person 1.
Hey,
Peckham Poet.
That failed, Jay. That failed massively.
I thought they were the winners. Oh no! What a fool I've just made myself.
Peckett Power, you've won. Here we go.
Someone's going to clip that.
Winner number 2.
If it lands on me, there's a guy who said earlier that he's bringing his son to the first game next week. He can win it, whoever that is.
Dan Riggs wins everything. He gets his hands on all sorts of merch and that.
Yeah. Make sure whoever gives Dan Rigg get a donation for your charity as well. Here we go. Winner number 3. If you drop us a DM, Richard Lacey, the person who provides the prizes, well done. You've won a prize. I'm doing it, mate. That's it. There's 3. So those of you who won, drop us a DM on Twitter or drop us an email at say prize winner at info@thatmillwallpodcast.com.
Oh, I'm not having that.
There you go. There we go. No, whoever it was, someone commented earlier. It might have been Craig who said that he's bringing his boy to his first Millwall game next Saturday. Whoever that was, I will go back and have a look. They can have the prize.
There we go. So John C, congratulations, you're a winner. Okay, that's 5. This is winner number 6.
Oh, he's already won one now. That puts me in a bit of a
awkward situation, is it?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
I don't win anything.
Right, there's winner number 6. Winner number 7. Craig Morgan.
Congrats, Craig Morgan.
Winner number 8. Where are we? Need to go in the right screen. There we go. Winner number 8. Danny Shrewd. Winner number... Oh, I can't. My mouse don't work.
9.
There we go. Winner number 9.
Congrats, Peter.
Peter Sullivan, even though I shouldn't give you a winner for your fucking terrible Photoshop image. And 10th and final person. Millwall Holdings, there you go. You are the 10th person. Congratulations. Those of you who've won, just email us at info@thatmillwallpodcast.co.uk and just put at the top Sunday after Sunderland prize winner. And we'll send you a form where you just fill out, put your name and address on it. And then you can either have your key ring sent out to you, or you can pick your key ring up at the next home game.
with Craig, if that's who I think it is, I think he's playing in the charity game with me. So I can, if Craig, if you're happy to, if I don't catch you next week, I can bring it along to that. If it is you, if not, then we'll sort out getting it sent out to you, mate.
I haven't yet, Rich, but I will see Mick soon. I will get it because it will take place on my desk.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, sorry about that. My laptop nearly died. So yeah. Right, we've got all your comments in. You're in. What key ring is it? It'll be a different one to what you've already got. It'll be one which says you are a cunt. Just for you, Dan Riggs.
Craig, but he played last year, but not this year. As Mickey said, message. It will sort out getting it to you if you want it next week. I'm close to Mickey. I can pick him up, mate. Or you're going. You're there next week, aren't you?
Yeah. Mark.
Yeah.
Just email us, mate. With first time watching live, and we'll send you a keyring as well. There we go. Can't say fairer than that. So then, do you want to see our new intro video for next year or not?
Yeah, it's been a good show.
That's a good show.
Even better. Yeah.
Should we just do it? Yeah.
Language you don't usually hear on television. Millwall in London's Dockland.
And that isn't the finished one. That was the first draft, because the finished one, me and Jay were up to about 4 o'clock in the morning. No, change that bit, change that bit. No, change that bit, change that bit, change that bit. So that's giving you an inkling of what it's like, but that isn't the final draft, which I thought it was, to be fair, but it isn't. Because as soon as it come up with a bit of no one likes us in the middle, Jay, I suddenly went, oh, that's the wrong video.
Is that a bit where the music just suddenly?
Yeah.
The thing is, for those that don't know, I work mostly nights, and Mickey doesn't go to sleep, so I'm always awake. So I'm just easy for me to talk to. But yeah, it's not finished. There's a lot of other things that have got to go on with it. But what do you all think? Do you like it? I think most of us like it. I think it's pretty professional. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. So yeah, we're pretty much there. Stephen, anything else you want to say?
No, just like and subscribe, and see you on Friday.
Oh, hang on, look. Joe's back in again. Would you like shut the fuck up, Joe Keyrings, instead? Quick, you've got about 2 seconds. Just put yes or no. If you want that in there. So yeah. We can, Rich will make you shut the fuck up, Joe Keyrings, instead, I think. So yeah, not a problem there. Omar's dad's at the front because obviously everyone knows him from the CAF, but he's not at the end. There is a different ending. What we've done and different music. So yeah, but you'll see it. So yeah, yes. Rich, if you're listening, it's shut the fuck up, Joe Keyrings, please, if you don't mind, sir. That
might have been in relation to liking the new video, not necessarily the Keyrings, but
I know, but I'll take it.
Whatever.
Yeah, Jay, you take it. Shut the fuck up, Joe Keyrings. That's
Yeah.
Stephen, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's unanimous. So with that, we are all done for another week. Which video do I play out? Oh, fuck it. Let's do this one.